Morning, everybody.
Morning, sir.
Chief Warrant Officer Jackson, family, great to see so many family members here today. Friends, staff, students, graduates, good morning and welcome to the Navy and Marine Corps Intelligence Training Center. It is a great Navy day, regardless of the rain. We're here, we have the opportunity to recognize the significant accomplishment of you young, fine sailors. Graduates, and there are a bunch of you today, sit back, enjoy, and it's a very special day for you, so hope you enjoy the entire day.
Thank you, Captain Mino. We are honored to have with us as our guest speaker today, Chief Warrant Officer Jackson, Naval Intelligence Officer Basic Course Instructor. Chief Warrant Officer Jackson enlisted in the Navy in June 1986 and completed basic training in San Diego, California. He then reported aboard the USS Ranger CVA-61 in January 1987 and was assigned to Deck Department, shortly thereafter promoted to Bosun Mate 2nd Class. Next, he transferred to Navy Marine Corps Intelligence Training Center here in Dam Neck, Virginia, for rate conversion training to intelligence specialist in June 1990. He also earned Imagery Analyst Navy Enlisted Classification 3910, just as we are today. He then reported to the Fleet Intelligence Center Pacific, FICPAC, in Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. After shore duty, he then transferred to USS Enterprise CVN-65 and was promoted to First Class Petty Officer in 1996. He later returned to Hawaii in March 1997 and assigned to the Joint Intelligence Center Pacific, where he was selected for Chief Petty Officer. Afterwards, he transferred to a Float Planning System Pacific Sea Duty Component, Hawaii, in August 2000 and deployed aboard the USS Carl Vinson CVN-70 for a routine Arabian Gulf deployment in July 2001. While transiting to the Gulf, the 9/11 tragedy occurred, and the ship and team quickly transitioned to Operation Enduring Freedom and fired the opening shots in the global war on terrorism, and also deployed in support of Operation Iraqi Freedom. Chief Warrant Officer Jackson was commissioned as a Chief Warrant Officer in June 2005 and reported to the USS Dwight D. Eisenhower as the Intelligence Systems Officer and Subplot Watch Officer. He deployed for 8 months in support of Operation Enduring Freedom, Iraqi Freedom, and Horn of Africa duties. In December 2007, he came home to Nimizi, where he was assigned duties as the Officer in Charge, Intelligence Specialist A School. Chief Warrant Officer now serves as Naval Intelligence Officer Basic Course Instructor. Ladies and gentlemen, Chief Warrant Officer Michael Jackson.
You know, it didn't occur to me that it was 20 years ago that I sat in those seats to graduate. 20 years ago. Is that a long time?
Yes, sir.
Some of you guys aren't even 20, are you? That's right. All right. First of all, I'd like to welcome the friends and families that took the time out on this damp Hampton Roads Day to come out and honor your sailors, because one of the most important factors in our lives as sailors, as we serve in the military or anywhere else, is our families. We can't do it without our families. So thank you very much for coming out and supporting our sailors. You know, it's ward enough just to make it here and get through Hampton Roads traffic. There's a conglomeration of the worst drivers in the country, in my opinion, right here in Virginia Beach. And if you had any issues trying to get through the gate today, you'll see what I was talking about. So let's just take a few minutes and think about where you guys are going, where you've been, where you're going, and what to expect out of your Navy careers. Okay? Some of you just completed A school and then went upstairs to the C schools. You had a challenge downstairs in the A schools where you had to learn all these intel disciplines and all this stuff that makes us intelligence specialists. And then you got specialized training in the best NEC, in my opinion. There's some back here that would argue. I see Chief back there nodding her head. 3923 is the way to go. And this guy over here is nodding his head as well. I served with him at AFSPAC. I know what he's all about, so don't worry about him just yet. But 3910 is the greatest, because imagery is the int that verifies all others. Okay, let me say that again. Imagery is the int that verifies all others. Whether it be ELIN, SIGINT, COMET, whatever other int, imagery can verify. Okay? As we've talked before, if you get 80% on a test, that's great, you pass, right? But if you're looking at 100 pieces of artillery, or if you're looking at 100 tanks, and you only get 80 right, what happened? Come on, don't be scared. There's not going to be a test afterwards. What happens? Somebody dies. You missed 20 tanks, right? So that one of those 20 tanks could be one of those ones that gets a fellow Marine or soldier or sailor on the ground and gets them in harm's way. So our job should always be to strive for perfection. Even though we can't always make it, we need to make it to where we strive for that perfection every time we go to work. Okay? And what's going to help you strive for that perfection, is finding a mentor. If you find a mentor that you latch on to, somebody that you trust and you believe in, whether it be somebody in another rate, a master chief, a senior chief, an officer, whomever you choose and you trust, you need to latch on to that individual. And you need to take and follow their keys that have made them successful throughout their careers. Okay? Those keys will always help you out. And if you're in a spot where you can't figure out what to do next, or if you're at a crossroads in your career, whether or not to stay or to go, consult your mentor. Talk to them. Trust them and confide in them. And I promise you, you will come up with the right solution for you. Believe it or not, my mentor is actually, go figure, a retired boatswain master chief. He lives out in Washington State. We talk about once a week, every week. You know, if it's nothing other than just sit down and tell sea stories or talk about what's going on in the Navy or whatever the case may be, he's there for me. And he's been there for me for a lot of years. So find that mentor. Find that person that you trust and believe in and latch on to them. Because I'll tell you, success leaves clues. And if you follow those clues, you're destined to be a success in your career. Okay? So, some of you are, everybody knows where they're going, right? Unfortunately, I didn't get to figure out where. Who's going to Hawaii? Nobody's going to Hawaii? Where are you going? Hopefully Hawaii. I tell you what, you will enjoy it. Take opportunity to enjoy Hawaii. I was actually stationed out there for about 9 years. My son thought he was Hawaiian there until we had to bring him back out here to Mexico. That boy loves to surf and he really loved the water. Matter of fact, when he stuck his foot in the water out here on the East Coast, he's like, "Ooh, Daddy, I don't want to ever do that again." So he's not been back in the water since. Okay, let's see, who's going to One-Eye? Outstanding. That is one of the, in my opinion, this is probably one of the best deals that we've come up with since I've been in the Navy. Taking intelligence specialists off the ship and working at a Center for Excellence and being able to hone your craft in the presence of folks that have been doing it for 20 or 30 years. Take advantage of the opportunity that's presented to you. Because you never know when you might be in a situation where you're out there on a carrier and you're assigned to start dropping ordnance, or you're assigned to plan a TLAM mission, or whatever the case may be.